What's up, guys? Welcome to another video. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about Libra. Um, so Libra is cardinal air, which is ruled by, in terms of modalities, is the sixth house. Oh no, sorry, the seventh house, which also has to do with, also like in terms of your physical body, it would have to do with your waist because it all has to do with balance. That's what this seventh house is all about. All about, also known as Maya, also known as the scale of justice, the duality of things, even night, even day. Um, going through the abyss, putting your heart on the scale. It's all the same thing. It's all about balance. Um, what else? It's also ruled by Venus. So Libra is the daytime of Venus. Taurus is the nighttime of Venus. Just like Aries is the daytime of Scorpio, or the scene. When I say daytime, I mean the physical expression, right? Like Libra will have more of a Venus energy where they like to relate to people outside of them, while a Taurus would like to relate to things that represents them and reminds them of themselves, things that represents their form of stability. You know what I'm saying? So it's more of an internal thing. So it's an internal thing that they find their stability on. While Libras like to look for their stability externally, aka friendships and groups and partners and things like that. So they're cardinal heirs. So they usually like to initiate. So they will be the type of people that are very good with ways, like they're very good with relationships and network. They're very good. They know how to spark conversations. You know what I mean? That's that cardinal heir, sparking conversations. They will spark that, internally and externally, and they'll be able to come up with being in groups and being able to connect with other people. You know, that's Libra's abilities. They also know how to, I would say they also know how to relate. They know how to do it, and they know how to keep a business because they're cardinal air. Air has no emotions. There's no emotions to it. When Libras relate, they just relate based on the idea that that's what you're meant to do. As interacting with people, you're meant to relate with people mentally. Whereas someone that's a water sign will actually relate based on their emotions. You know what I'm saying? And that's how they relate. So there could be that disconnect when it comes to water signs and air signs, because air signs relate more of a logical way, where it's like, oh, it's just business. You know what I mean? It's nothing personal. Whereas water signs would take that relationship personal. You know what I mean? Because it's water. It has to do with the internal. While air has to do with the external. So yeah, it being the beginning of fall time or autumn, which is the seventh house, because that's the ending. Sixth house is summertime, and then we're getting into fall time or autumn. So which is the cardinal. It's the beginning of that, or the beginning of the internal. When going below the horizon, or aka when going into the energy of from fall to winter. You know what I mean? And then that's from Libra, or from September, late September, early October to late February, early March. You know what I mean? Then you start again spring to end of summer. Then you got fall time. Okay, the sun is more distant, really. Um, so if the sun's more distant and you're more distant from your consciousness, you have to go from within. You know what I mean? So Libras know how to go within and spark up conversations. They know how to group people and be like, okay, this person's for this person's for that, because they know how to relate and have that one-on-one connection. It's just sometimes they always they always find ways to balance things out. That's what they're here to do. They need to find ways to balance things out. And sometimes the way for them to balance things out is by learning how to be an individual, learning how to use their opposite energy, which is Aries energy. Sometimes they might need to be by themselves to learn how to balance their energy out, their internal and external energy. But sometimes they seek other people to fulfill that work that they're meant to do, in terms of learning how to connect with people, but first learn how to connect with yourself. So they need that Aries energy in their life. Just like with Scorpios will need the energy of Taurus, whereas they need the energy of being fixated on some form of stability and being more practical minded and diving less more into emotional personal things. They have to learn how to be more just well, not reality based, but a little bit more structured with their emotions. But and by being structured with their emotions is by finding something practical to be fixated on. And if they can find something practical to be fixated on, that will help them with their emotions. You know what I'm saying? And instead of just diving into their emotions, because they have to do with Pluto, so it's very deep and dark there. So it can be very extreme if they dive into that pool of emotions, emotions, you know what I mean? That sea. So they might have to learn how to be more stable, fixated earth, create a firmament that you can climb up to so that you can be above that icy water. You know what I mean? So that's how it goes with Libras. Libras have to learn how to be more fiery individual and learn how to destroy connections at certain times if there is no form of balance. And then sometimes they have to learn also how to balance themselves out also. Like I said, like learning how to be more internal. You know what I'm saying? So that's how it goes. You know, Libra's just like there's a lot of mythologies when it comes to Libra. Venus, goddess, in Greek mythology, I forgot what her name would be for Venus. But I think that is it. Yeah, Venus. That is, or that might be Roman. One of them. Venus, I think, is like Greek or Roman, ancient goddess in terms of love and balance and beauty and sensuality. You know what I'm saying? Like for men, this is a little, I'm digressing a little bit, but still, it's so good. But men will be more of the, in terms of astrology, you'd want to utilize the energy of Capricorn and, no, sorry, Saturnian and Martian or Mars. You want to use the energy of Saturn and Mars as a man, and as a female, you want to use the planets of, or really, yeah, the planet. I wouldn't. Well, the moon's not a planet, but the moon and Venus. And the reason why I say that is because as the man, you're here to be more. You're here to find something to be passionate about in terms of ambition or whatever you're doing, and you have to utilize that Martian energy to be passionate, whether it's Aries or Scorpio, you know, showing your physical passion or finding something to be passionate about internally. And then once you do that towards whatever goal you're achieving, you also have to utilize the energy of Saturn. So the energy of stability, stable, patience, structure, routines, some form of boundary. And the more you know, some form of stoicism, I think that's how you say it. So that's more Saturnian energy. And the more you create that energy of Saturnian and Martian energy, you know, you're passionate and you can see you're physically shown, your body's physically shown as being passionate, whether you're exercising or things like that and being healthy, and also having some form of business minded energy or vision that you want to achieve. You know, Saturn, Capricorn energy. You know what I mean? Capricorn and Aries and what's called Aries and Scorpio. And even with Aquarius also, you can utilize that energy also because you want to learn how to be an individual amongst other people. And the more individual you are in terms of like your business ideas, you will stand out more. Just like how if you're at a club or you're at a event or something, the female will actually be more drawn to the person that stands out instead of the man that is just within the crowd. Same thing with the females. They have to utilize the energy of Venus and the moon. So they have to learn how to be more sensual and beauty and graceful, and then utilize the moon energy, which is more nurturing, caring, motherly. You know what I mean? Very introspective, Yeah, very soft, like gentle energy. And once they utilize that energy, that's how they attract the Martian and Saturnian energy. But if a woman has a Saturnian and Martian energy, she's gonna clash with the man, so she's too masculine. So you have to always opposites attract. That's how you do things. You have to utilize both modalities to come together, and you can apply that into life too. If you're trying to manifest things into your life, it's always finding something to appreciate